With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
The United States has officially joined the war against Iran. U.S. military carried out attacks on 3 key Iranian nuclear sites, while Iran says U.S. and Israel have crossed all the major red lines and that diplomacy is not an option anymore. Here is a roundup of the latest developments unfolding at this moment. Just a while back, top Pentagon leaders revealed key details about last night's major U.S. airstrike on Iran's nuclear facilities, an operation codenamed Midnight Hammer. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth described the mission as bold and brilliant, stating that its goal was to degrade and destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities while avoiding harm to Iranian troops or civilians. During the briefing, Joint Chief of Air Force Staff General Dan Kane said that the final battle damage is being assessed. But the initial investigation indicates that all 3 sites sustained severe damage and destruction.
It was an incredible and overwhelming success. The order we received from our commander-in-chief was focused, it was powerful, and it was clear. We devastated the Iranian nuclear program. But it's worth noting the operation did not target Iranian troops or the Iranian people.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has codenamed the U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, calling it a major red line crossed. Araghchi accused the Trump administration of betraying both Iran, saying that there is no point for opting for diplomacy now. Araghchi vowed that Iran would defend itself by all necessary means, holding Washington fully responsible for the dangerous consequences.
There is no red line that they have not crossed. And the last one, and the most dangerous one, happened only last night, when they crossed a very big red line by attacking nuclear facilities. I don't know how much room is left for diplomacy. We are now calculating the damages.
Iran media reports massive blast in Bushehr province, which houses the country's only operational nuclear reactor. Israeli aircraft reportedly struck 2 scrapyards in the Yazd military zone, causing minimal damage. Latest images released by IDF show what it says are Israeli strikes targeting 2 Iranian F-5 fighter jets. According to the IDF, these overnight raids destroyed both jets and 8 missile launchers. The sweeping overnight operation also targeted dozens of military installations across Iran. The strikes carried out by 20 Israeli fighter jets reportedly hit key sites including Desful and Isfahan airports. The IDF says it has other goals in Iran and intends to press on with its military offensive. The army spokesperson said the military will continue to act until they attain the full objective. Iran's armed forces say they targeted multiple sites in Israel, including Ben Gurion Airport, after U.S. attacks on key nuclear sites. At least 86 people were injured after Iran unleashed 2 massive missile barrages on Israel. Several buildings were heavily damaged in the Ramat Aviv area in Tel Aviv, with holes torn in the facades of the apartment blocks. A barrage of Iranian missiles tore through the skies over Israel and the occupied West Bank. In Haifa, public square in a residential area of Haifa was left strewn with rubble, and surrounding shops and homes were heavily damaged. Sirens rang across the country, with air defenses activated shortly afterwards, causing loud explosions. Mr. Noor Dabri is an executive director of Islamic Theology of Counterterrorism. Is now joining us live from London. Mr. Noor, thank you very much for making time for us, and welcome to WION World is One. The region is now on tenterhooks. What happens next? Because West Asia, the dynamics of that region have changed.
Thank you very much for having me in. Well, we have seen US joining this war, which was before it was a war between Israel and Iran. But US was expecting to join it, but unexpectedly, because then President Trump have given 2 weeks, but suddenly, surprise, that was yesterday, was a very surprise attack when the US dropped the B-2 bombs over a few nuclear sites. What next? The very important question, because the Iran said that US has crossed a red line, but it forgets that Iran has already crossed a red line on October 7, 2023, when its proxies Hamas and later Hezbollah and Houthis in Yemen joined war against Israel. Mm-hmm. Now, what next is the ball is in Iran's pocket now, because if Iran retaliates American interests in the US, the war could escalate. Now, if you look at the message of the US White House officials, they said their attack was very precise and it did not harm Iranian military as well as Iranian public, which means it sent a very clear message to the Iranian regime that do not dare to escalate this war. It could harm Iranian military bases and their government installations. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at the Iranian U.S. bases in the Middle East, they have a bases in Bahrain, they have bases, a big base in Qatar, Syria, Iraq, as well as in Saudi Arabia. Now, if Iran attacks any of the bases, it will escalate war into the Arab world, because the Arab country, they could retaliate, and that will expect a different type of war people would express. Mm-hmm. So it's still, the world hopes that Iran would not retaliate in a big scale. But let's see how it goes. The ball is in Iranians' pocket now.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Noor, the world is divided as to how the United States reacted, and the United States actually joining the war. Iran says that there is no room for diplomacy at this moment. Talks about diplomacy have been thrown out the window. Do you actually think that with time, Iran will calm down or settle down and then decide to talk to the United States?
Well, it depends on the Ayatollah Khamenei. He is a supreme leader as well as a commander-in-chief of Iranian armies and forces. He is the one solo decision, because Iranian government is under dictatorship of a supreme leader. Now, if you look at that, after the bomb, the world reaction, specifically the UK and the European countries, their statements shows that they have supported US attacks, last night's attack on Iranian nuclear sites, because the United Kingdom, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom says they cannot afford nuclear facilities, Iranian nuclear facilities. Mm-hmm. As well as the European Union delivered a statement that uranium sites of nuclear site of the Iran, they are the threat to the world. So it shows that the West world have indirectly backed the President Trump's decision to destroy Iranian nuclear sites. Mm-hmm. Now, Iran is actually on the table task. Their table task should have been directly started with the U.S. authorities, not European authorities. They are meeting. They are expected to meet a Putin Russian delegation, and last few days they have met a UK and a European delegations as well. But they have decision making in the war is only and only one country, which is the US. They have to resume the talks with the US, and President Trump still says their door is open for Iranian officials, and the table is the chair is still empty and there. So the Iranians, I think if they want to remain in power, or they have to save the country and their nation, they have to accept the deal, which is no nuclear Iranian, no nuclear weapons, and no without a missiles program. And let's see, because Israel has a own concern, very deep and very serious concern over Israel as well, or Iran as well. And if you look at from last 9 days, Israel is continually striking Iranian military bases, air bases, as well as their military installations.
Okay. Mr. Noor, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to WION World is One today.
Welcome. Welcome, my friend.